Hello PEI and welcome back to the podcast. We have one of my favorite islanders with us today, culinary visionary and renowned chef Michael Smith, PEI's own food ambassador and proprietor of the Inn at Bay Fortune. Welcome to the Hello PEI podcast, Chef Michael. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. And for anyone who doesn't know, I don't know if anybody could not know, but the Inn at Bay Fortune and the Partner Inn at Fortune Bridge, along with the fireworks feast, um, I think it's something everyone should experience. Sherry and I, we had our wedding dinner there at the inn, and we continue to go back. But for those who may not know still, specifically, what is farm to table dining and how is it the core of the fireworks feast dining experience?
Hey, well, in a nutshell, that's what we do, true farm to table, and not just for our guests, for our team as well. We are first and foremost a farm, an 8-acre culinary farm
Hmm.
with incredible diversity and real terroir. After 10 years of sustainable regenerative agriculture, we built some of the strongest soil on the island.
Yeah.
We go beyond just growing those vegetables. We actively participate in it, and our cooks and our guests have an opportunity to experience that farm every single day.
Right.
It's the bedrock of what we do, of course, and then taking it a few steps further, cooking with live fire and sharing it in a communal feast format, sort of sums it all up. But at heart, it's all about that farm.
It's all about the farm, exactly. And it's a year-round venture for you. I know you close down for the winter season, but you don't go into hibernation during the winter season, do you? You're still busy. You and Chaz are working on different projects and that for the inn. And every year there's something new and exciting and improved with the inn. Is there anything this winter that may be different that we can expect when you open up for spring?
Oh, for sure. Chaz and I take great pride in having created something that's living and breathing, that
Yeah.
evolves, that's fluid. And that's very much the energy of the inn. It always has been. It's just moving forward is the spirit of what we do. So renovation, of course, big word, building, adding this, that, and the other thing. There's always something new. This year, very minor in our eyes.
Mhm.
Renovating just the big dining room space where our fireworks hearth is and rethinking how service is going to work at the inn. The physicality of it is less an evolution than the systems and the thinking of it. Like so many of the world's great restaurants, we find ourselves in a place where we want to continue to do better, to
Mhm.
strive towards excellence, and to do that, we really need to slim down a bit.
Right.
So we're going to welcome a few less guests every evening
Oh, is that
this year.
right?
We're going to move from 80 or so to 70 or so.
Okay.
Um, and that may seem incidental, but that's actually very significant. And it gives us more options, more space, and thus the dominoes are falling as we renovate our big main sort of cooking space.
Right. And the fireworks feast, it's the signature event at the end. Can you describe the atmosphere and energy of that experience and why that's so special?
Sure, and I think for us, Mike, and I think for you and Sherry, you've been there, you've shared it many times. It
Mhm.
really does come down to the share, the communal aspect of it. Our guests all arrive at the same time. This year, we're starting something we call open house. We're gonna start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Just say to
Oh,
our guests, "Hey, there's so much to see here. 75 acres." 50 acres of woodlands with almost 5 kilometers of trails out there now, and easily 50 art installations that I've built or other artists have contributed. It's pretty epic out there, and taking the time to just walk around and absorb 8 acres of our culinary farm, poking your nose into the corners. We're offering our guests that opportunity this year. And then our welcome bars are open, of course, but at 4:30, instead of a walk around tour, we're going to have our farmers chat in our brand
right.
new farmers classroom overlooking the chef's garden and the fire garden. And then, of course, our epic oyster hour at 5 o'clock with all those live fire stations, all those crazy
Yes.
hors d'oeuvres, if you will, and the oyster bar. Last year's pile hit 66,000 oysters, so we're going to see if we can top it again this year. And then, of course, at 6 o'clock, we all come together inside in the fireworks space and enjoy the feast, the multi-course feast at long communal shared tables, butcher block tables.
Mhm.
And that like so many of life's great moments I think are found at long tables with new friends and old friends. And that's the heart of it. Really looking
Yeah.
forward to
Yeah.
sharing all those vegetables once
Oh,
again.
yeah. And that's the personality of it all, just everybody at the harvest table together. You make a lot of new friends. But the pre-meal experience out in the farm, I mean, the farm supplies much of the produce for the restaurant. How is that direct connection to the land, and how does it influence the cooking and the overall guest experience? I mean, it's a big part of it for me, but I'm curious your thought on
Sure. Foundationally, it's what we do. The way that we connect the culinary farm to our kitchen is at the heart and core of our experience for ourselves as an atelier, a workshop, but also for our guests, of course.
it.
And it would be I suppose, a colossal miss if all of those vegetables and beyond hundreds of
Yeah.
varieties, beyond hundreds, 56 herb garden beds on the front lawn alone.
Wow.
And if all of that just somehow arrived at the back door, that would be a miss.
Hmm.
Instead, we go further. Our cooks join the farm. They actively engage with the farm daily and start their day at 10 o'clock every morning with a farm project. And there we all are in the sun doing something for an hour with our farmer, with Farmer Kevin, teaching us, learning, and working and getting something done. And Farmer Kevin, of course, has his own farm hands. He's got his own team. But during that hour, there's a lot learned. There's a strong connection made between the cooks and the terroir, the soil, the vegetables, and in some cases, months later, when those vegetables come through the door, that personal connection is earned and strong. And then further, our cooks, of course, have harvest responsibilities depending on their station. They actively head on out to the farm and harvest and the like. So it's very much a part of why they come to us, the
Hmm.
opportunity to work with impeccable produce, beyond impeccable,
Yeah. And
also to learn and engage with how it's created and crafted.
yeah, it has to. That passion comes through in the food that we eat when we sit down. I mean, you've had a fascinating career from cooking in kitchens around the world to becoming a renowned cookbook author and TV personality. Are there one or two pivotal moments that shaped your culinary journey when you look back?
Absolutely. I can think of many, of course. I think, at this stage of life, as I consider of all of those many moments, so many of them relating to just the idea of teaching.
Yeah.
Uh, for me and for Chastity, my wife, 10 years ago, when we leaned in and decided to reignite the Init Bay fortune to make it our family business, that
Hmm.
was certainly pivotal because I was at a point in my life where I needed to get up in the morning and do real. Yeah,
Hmm.
at that point, had been traveling the world for 17 years, shooting multiple television shows, and in hundreds of countries,
Right.
locations, I should say, appearing all over the world, blah blah blah, and just eventually realizing that I'm the only guy in the room looking at the food, and everybody else sees a prop.
Right.
And advocacy only gets you so far, and there just comes a point, I think, where you want to direct your energies at doing. And
Yeah.
that is straight up what led to the inn for Chaz and I. And I'm so glad it did because now, 10 years in, I've learned more about farming in the last 10 years of my whole life put together.
Hmm.
With fire, all of the nuances of wood, fire, and smoke. My next cookbook, landing in April, but landing this summer, May, wood, fire, and smoke, all of that. And the thrill of earning and learning knowledge,
Yeah.
and all that in the last 10 years and creating this epic culinary experience, this adventure for all, for our guests as much as for us.
Hmm.
It's just a thrill to be a part of.
For sure. And a big part of the experience at the end is your interaction with your guests. You're not tucked into a backroom kitchen. You're a host in true form. I mean, after so many years, is that still as exciting for you when the new season begins and all the people start coming in from far and wide and pulling up that driveway?
It is, we're all wired the way we are. And I think, clearly in me is just this innate love of creating an experience for
Yeah.
somebody else,
Hmm.
and over time, I've come to understand first and foremost, fiercely, this is the secret sauce, the core business strategy at the end is that our team comes first. The
Hmm.
people I work with, the people I share my day with day after day, the team around me, the culinarians, all the other people that work at the inn, our core office staff, they come first. Their
Hmm.
experience matters. And the work culture that we've created, the atmosphere, the safe place to learn, to make mistakes,
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. That's first and foremost what we do. If we're having a good day, Mike, then you and Sherry and your guests can have a good day too.
Exactly. And the inn draws aspiring chefs and food entrepreneurs from across the country for that chance to work with you and to work at the inn. So how important is mentorship to you, and what advice would you give to aspiring chefs and food entrepreneurs?
Mentorship is everything. It for me personally, it is a core part of who I am.
Right.
I'm drawn to teaching, sharing experience with those around me, et cetera, et cetera. We are an atelier at the end. We are a living, breathing workshop,
Hmm.
and that is, of course, teaching and learning happening side by side, as much of one as the other. Mentorship's a huge part of that, and why we choose that approach to business, if you will.
Hmm.
For me, it is. It's about teaching.
Hmm. Yeah. And I want to ask you just a little bit of an off-guard question here. Do you have a most memorable or maybe even a disastrous moment you've experienced in the kitchen that you would be willing to share?
Oh, geez, Mike, it's been nothing but perfection from day one. Just,
I'll bet.
ascending on the golden stairs into the blue sky above. You can't mistake. Not really familiar with that idea.
I spent a little time in the kitchen there early on in the school days there, so I know you might be stretching the truth a little bit there.
That was straight up utter BS. In fact, mistakes, constant mistakes. I mean, I live with the world's toughest food critics. I mean, they're right down the hall from me. Ariella's, downstairs. I think of things, like the time the wings a few weeks ago. I really fricked up the wings. Just the fish sauce. Oh God, like I never heard the end of that.
Yeah, always
Sure. I
learning.
mean, but really, what it comes down to, I think, is acknowledging for ourselves and advice to
Mhm.
young us to our own kids.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing you can do cooking with your kids in your home kitchen is just help them understand from moment one that it's not about right or wrong.
No,
It's not really what we're striving for here. It's
no.
about just
Hmm.
time spent learning, hopefully,
Yeah,
just time spent.
yeah.
You,
If
you
you're not
know,
making
and
mistakes, you're not taking chances. So, yeah.
there it is. There
And
it is.
but I think one might assume it's like three-star Michelin dining at the Smith residence every night, but I'm sure you have some humble family favorite dinners. What are a couple dinners that are hits in your household?
Sure. Hey, last night, we have fish constantly, at least once a week, a big whitefish
You
feed.
live
And
in PEI, you have
last,
to have fish.
yeah, of course. Last night, I tried out my tempura batter skills and did up a fish fry, with
Oh,
that just
nice.
perfectly light, made
Mhm.
up a nice tartar sauce. And at the end of the day, I'm having a good time jamming out this,
Mhm.
tempura, perfect little tartar. But at the end of the day, it's still, a fish fry for the kids, and so
Yeah,
stuff like that. Chicken wings are in regular rotation.
right.
I've got a hell of a wing game going.
Mhm.
Smash burgers, and then a regular diet too of entertaining, of friends coming and going, weekend
Mhm.
stuff. The kids have a pretty adventuresome palate. Chaz certainly
Well,
does,
that's
and
good.
it's fun to share with friends and family at the table.
Yeah. And what's your own personal guilty pleasure food, if you have one?
I like number 4 at Wendy's.
Okay. All
Just
right.
saying.
Quick in and out. I won't tell anybody, but anything we should know about new shows, new cookbooks, or upcoming events, and I know that there's a check mark beside each of those things. So maybe elaborate on that a little bit.
Sure. Hey, thanks for asking, Mike. Yeah, looking
Yeah.
forward to opening the inn, of course.
Yeah.
And a newly imagined, freshly reimagined feast after 10 years. It was
Yeah.
time. It was time to really give it some thought from top to bottom, and just looking forward to all of that in mid-May. Looking forward to a brand new book, book
Hmm.
number 13. 13.
Didn't you just have one come out within the last year?
2 years now,
It's been two
since
years already.
Farmhouse Vegetables, and now here comes Wood, Fire, and Smoke.
Oh, I'll be all
Very
over that
special
one.
book. Really, really treasure the time spent on this book. It really does, represent so much personally to me. Wood, Fire, and Smoke, and lots more. Season 2 of Chef on Fire is
Hmm.
dropping soon on Bell 5. It's a
Hmm.
huge hit. It's massively successful. We're loving doing the show. We're heading into a great big season 3, and we've got some other things cooking, Food Networky things cooking. You never know. And
Nice.
yeah, just it's just nice to be cruising along 10 years of strong, authentic, true, and just to be a part of it, Mike. As I've said, sometimes what we do at the end, it is hard to put it in words. It is so real and
Yeah.
meaningful and authentic.
No,
And I
it's genuine. It's for sure, and it comes through. And the show you touched on there at the Bell Network, it comes to you. You're not out there like in the past jumping on planes and traveling. It's right there at the end that it's being filmed, is it not?
It is, thanks. Yeah, it is. Chef on Fire is filmed at the Inn at Bay Fortune. It does feature awesome stories about fires and the farm and the people that make the inn so special.
Right.
I have to say, I've been doing a lot of this. I've done a lot of this over the years. I've done, I mean, come on, obviously, I've done a lot of TV,
Hmm.
but I absolutely treasure this creative collaboration with Adam Perry, my director, who I've worked with before,
Right.
uh, and with Jennifer Harkness, who's part of our team, and all of this opportunity to tell amazing visual stories about authenticity, about what we built at the end. It's really special stuff. I'm very, very, very proud of Chef on Fire.
Very nice. I'll have to check it out. I've seen some of the trailers, but I'm not a Bell subscriber, but it might be that might be just what gets me to shift over onto that, just so I can see that. But I guess I should let you get back to work, and I want to thank you for taking the time to do the podcast. So when is opening day this year?
Oh, I should have this at the tip of my fingers. It's long weekend, May,
On week
Victoria Day
in May.
weekend.
So, but
Yeah.
if someone wants to find out for sure and they want to book themselves their reservations, where would they go to do that?
I would
On the
suggest
spot
you
again.
go fast to inatbayfortune.com. We're well over half sold out for the year
Oh, is
already.
that right already? Okay,
Absolutely.
so
Strong,
get your
strong.
tickets because they do sell out, and you don't want to miss it out. And Sherry and I will be there to see you and Chaz at the end at the Inn of Bay Fortune this summer, probably late summer this year. We've got people coming in from Ontario, and whenever we do, that's something we want to show off. If you're showing off PEI, you got to show off the Inn of Bay Fortune and the Inn of Fortune Bridge for sure. So I want to thank you for your time again, Michael, and all the best to you. And we'll see you later on this summer.
Thanks, Mike. All the best.